Recording has started. Today we are going to start our unit number 4, which is based on automation tool, software automation tool, software testing automation tool, that is Selenium. There are different tools available in the industry, software industry, for the software application testing, but Selenium has its own demand and it is freely available over the internet. So that's why everywhere throughout any university you can observe that Selenium is there for the study in computer engineering courses. On the same line that I have repeated, in our university also, in software testing subject, Selenium is there for our study. If I ask to you which are the different software testing tools available, you should know the answers apart from the Selenium. We are going to see the information of Selenium over here, but you should have knowledge about the different software tools also. Is there any software tool that you know? Yes, Jira is the software tool. Most of the company also prefer the Jira. In one of the lecture that we have conducted for unit number 3, we have seen which softwares, the different types of software testing tools. Some companies having their own software testing tool, vendor software testing tool, then the testing tool which are open source that are used by the many companies. Normally it is categorized in these 3 types, means private software testing tool, some vendor software testing tool, and some are open source software testing tool. Multiple software testing tools are there. Jira is one of the famous software testing tool. Please search it on Jira also after this lecture, what exactly it works. It is also a famous one. Over here we are going to see Selenium. Selenium is free. Free means open source. Whenever you will come across the free regarding the any intellectual property written in code format, which we term as a software, if someone call, if it is free, it doesn't mean that it doesn't have any kind of price. Don't compare the word free and the sentence, the particular asset or entity is priceless. No, it is not like that. When it is called as free, it means it is open source. It is open source. Money is required not for to download the things, but to develop the things, the currency is required, the dollars are required, the rupees are required. That is different thing, but for your understanding I want to make the concept clear. Free means what? The code is available to download without paying any kind of rupees. That term is called as free. Selenium is free. Automated testing suite for web applications across different browsers and platforms. As over here it is given that it is available for web applications. You can use it for your standalone applications also, desktop applications also. Selenium is a suite of software tools to automate web browsers. When it is saying suite, it means that some extensions are there which we can use with coordination of Selenium for different applications. The suite means what? There are different extensions, small APIs or small software, small applications. With the coordination of Selenium, we can use that. It is open source suite of tools mainly used for functional and regression test automation. Functional and regression test automation. Keep in mind these things. We are going to see in this unit with a practical demo, functional, regression, whatever the different testing types that we are going to see. But regarding the Selenium, keep in mind it is used for functional and regression test automation. Am I audible? If you are listening, am I audible? Hello? Then Selenium is free automated testing suite for web applications across different browsers and platforms. For the different browsers also and for different platform also, Selenium is available for all. Selenium is available for all. Means what happens, some application work for particular browsers or particular platform. Means what, if suppose if X testing tool is suitable for Windows, then it is not suitable for Mac, right, or iOS. Such kind of difficulty or disadvantage is overcome in Selenium. It is made for all. It's quite similar to HP Quick Test Pro. Quick Test Pro, that is QTP. Means Selenium is similar to one of the testing tool which is developed by HP, and it is also a popular and famous one in software industry. That is Quick Test Pro. Now it is known as UFT. What is UFT or QTP? That we will see. It is, means what? Selenium is quite similar to QTP and UFT. Only that Selenium focuses on automatic web-based applications. Testings done using Selenium tools is usually referred as Selenium testing. Let's see what Selenium supports. Various operating environments. It supports Microsoft Windows, Linux, then Macintosh, etc. It supports all these platforms. Selenium supports various browsers as we have discussed earlier. Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Safari, Opera, etc. You can use any operating system and any browser. Selenium is there for you for 24/7. Selenium IDE supports Mozilla Firefox only. If we are talking about Selenium IDE, it supports Mozilla Firefox only. Selenium supports various programming environment to write programs. Which program? Whatever we write in the Selenium, that is called as test scripts. Test scripts means we can write test scripts in Java, C#, Python, Perl, Ruby, PHP. Java, Python, PHP, these types of programs are famous for the test, to write the test cases in Selenium. This is about some history of Selenium. Selenium first came to life in 2004. In 2006, Selenium WebDriver was launched at Google. In 2008, the whole Selenium team decided to merge Selenium WebDriver with Selenium RC in order to form more powerful tools called Selenium 2.0. Selenium 1, what is Selenium 1? Selenium 1 is nothing but the combination of different Selenium functionalities, that is Selenium IDE plus Selenium RC plus Selenium Grid. There is again some enhancement done in Selenium 2. Selenium 2 is the combination of different functionalities. Selenium IDE plus Selenium RC plus Selenium WebDriver plus Selenium Grid. Keep in mind the things, while learning what is Selenium. Selenium tool suite, as we have seen, Selenium, when we call Selenium, the word always comes suite. What is Selenium tool suite is that? Selenium is not just a single tool but a suite of softwares, each catering to different testing needs of an organization. Selenium is not just a single tool, right? It is a combination of, it is a mixture of different softwares. And what is that? It has 4 components. Selenium Integrated Development Environment, that is Selenium IDE, Selenium IDE, and Selenium Remote Control, it is called as Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, and 4th one is Selenium Grid. See the diagram. See the diagram. Selenium suite means what? Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. Again, Selenium WebDriver is having their own version, Selenium 1, Selenium 2, now Selenium 3, right? Selenium 3. Let's brief about Selenium IDE. It is Firefox browser plugin. It is Firefox browser plugin used to create and execute test cases. Let's see the Selenium IDE features. Selenium IDE is used for create test cases, then edit test cases, then execute test cases, then debug test cases, enhance test cases, export test cases to other formats like Java, Ruby, etc. Selenium IDE test case default format is .html. See, these are the different test cases we can handle with the help of Selenium IDE. Then drawbacks of Selenium IDE. It supports Mozilla Firefox browser only. It doesn't support programming logic features to enhance test cases. It doesn't support data-driven testing. It is not suitable for complex test case design. We are talking about Selenium IDE. We are not talking about Selenium RC, Selenium WebDriver, Selenium Grid. We are only talking about Selenium IDE. And previously we have seen that Selenium is compatible for all web browsers, all platforms, right? And multiple programming language. But over here you are seeing that I am talking about Selenium IDE, because Selenium having 4 different components: Selenium IDE, Selenium RC, Selenium Grid, Selenium WebDriver. We are just talking about Selenium IDE. That's why over here you are seeing that it supports Mozilla Firefox browser only. Have you understand? We are talking about only IDE. It doesn't support programming logic. It doesn't support data-driven testing. It is not suitable for complex test case design. No centralized maintenance of objects or elements. This is all about Selenium IDE. Selenium RC, it is outdated. Currently Selenium RC is still being developed, but only in maintenance mode. As we have seen there are 4 components: Selenium RC, Selenium IDE, Selenium Grid, and Selenium WebDriver. Selenium RC is not used by many more companies. Now it is, we can treat it as it is outdated. Next one, Selenium WebDriver. Over here you have to focus. Most of the company demands these things. If you have the knowledge about this, they will absolutely prefer you for software testing or software test job. So you should have knowledge about Selenium WebDriver. It is a programming interface to create and execute test cases. It is programming interface. Selenium IDE has IDE but doesn't have programming interface. This is the comparison between Selenium WebDriver and Selenium IDE. Selenium WebDriver has programming interface but doesn't have IDE. It communicates directly to the browser. No need of separate servers such as RC server. UFT QTP has both IDE as well as programming interface. Faster execution than IDE and RC of Selenium WebDriver. Selenium WebDriver supports following programming environments to write programs: Java, C#, Perl, Python, Ruby, and PHP. Okay. Then Selenium WebDriver supports various operating environments, that is Microsoft Windows, Linux, Macintosh, etc. Let's see the drawbacks of Selenium WebDriver. It doesn't generate detailed test reports, no centralized maintenance, it requires programming knowledge, cannot support the readily new browser, installation is more complicated than Selenium IDE. Like Selenium IDE, the Selenium WebDriver also have some advantages and some disadvantages. Then Selenium Grid. Selenium Grid is used to execute tests across multiple browsers, operating environments and machine in parallel. Selenium Grid to support Selenium RC tests as well as Selenium WebDriver tests. Okay. Selenium WebDriver to create test cases using elements locator and WebDriver methods. Java programming to enhance test cases. TestNG framework to group test cases, execute test batches and generate details, test reports. There are some features of Selenium Test Grid. Here the briefing is done with the help of rows and columns. Selenium IDE, browser supports Mozilla Firefox, WebDrivers, Internet Explorer version 6 to 11, both 32 and 64, Microsoft Edge version. Okay. Then Firefox, Google Chrome, Opera, Android, all these iOS and HTML unit, all it supports. For what? If you want to do the testing in WebDriver of Selenium, then these are the things how to choose the right Selenium tool for your need. All these things are given on your classroom. Please see over there. We have seen advantages and disadvantages of different test components of the Selenium test suite. But if we overall conclude the things regarding Selenium, then advantages of Selenium: it is an open source software, no need to pay anything. It supports various operating systems, as we have discussed. It supports various browsers. It supports various programming environment. It supports parallel test execution. It uses less hardware resources. As there is some advantages, absolutely we have to face some disadvantages everywhere. It supports web-based applications only, no reliable supports from anybody, no centralized maintenance of elements, difficult to set up environments, difficult to use. Okay, these are the some disadvantages. As I have told you, I will tell you about QTP and UFT, because the Selenium is quite similar to UFT or QTP, that we have seen earlier. Selenium open source. What is UFT? UFT is Unified Functional Testing. QTP. Previously it is known as QTP. Now it is known as UFT, that is Unified Functional Testing. Unified Functional Testing. As we have seen, it is open source. UFT is a vendor tool. License is required because it's a Hewlett Packard tool. It is a HP tool, right? It requires only MS Windows. Then VB script is there only to do the programming if you are using QTP or UFT. So these are the things related with UFT and QTP when we compare it with Selenium. Okay. Then one more thing, that is what is TestNG. TestNG is a powerful testing framework to enhance version of JUnit, which was in use for a long time before TestNG came into existence. NG stands for next generation. TestNG framework provides the following features. Annotations helps us organize the test easily. A flexible test configuration. Test cases can be grouped more easily. Parallelization of test can be achieved using TestNG. Supports for data-driven testing. Inbuilt testing report. This is all what about Selenium, because we have started our new unit and which is totally based on Selenium. What we have seen just a minute. We have seen what is Selenium, what are the components of Selenium, what are the advantages and disadvantages of Selenium, what is UFT and QTP is there, all these things that we have seen regarding Selenium. Before to start the actual things of Selenium, how to download it, how to execute or how to write the test cases in Selenium, we should have knowledge about what are the different tests. If we want to do the tests of any software product, but on which parameter or which are the different tests are there, according to that we can test any software application. Let us see first that, then we will move from the next lecture actual implementation of Selenium, how we can use Selenium with actual practical demonstration. Before that, let us see how many different tests are there in software testing. First of all, testing is the process of execution a program with the aim of finding errors. To make our software perform well, it should be error free. If testing is done successfully, it will remove all the errors from the software. Why we do the testing? To find the errors. And why there is a need to find the errors? If we want to execute the software which we are providing to the end user to work smoothly, then we have to remove the errors. And how we will remove the errors? First we have to find that errors, then we will remove the errors. And to find the errors, there is a need of testing. Principles of testing. All the tests should meet the customer requirements. Why do the testing? Testing should do, if the testing meets the requirement of the customer, then there is a use of testing. Otherwise it is all useless work, right? To make our software testing should be performed by third party. Exhaustive testing is not possible. All the tests to be conducted should be planned before implementing it. It follows the Pareto rules, that is 80-20 rule, which states that 80% of the errors come from 20% of the program components. Start the testing with small parts and extend it to large parts. Type of testing. Which are the types of testing? Unit testing. It focuses on the smallest units of software testing. There is a video available on my channel of software testing. Over there we did one program practically about unit testing. It focuses on smallest units of software design. In a program we are checking if loop, method or function is working fine. That is called as unit testing. If you want to check loop, method or function whether it is working correctly or not, the logic that we apply to do the testing, that is nothing but unit testing. Then integration testing. The objective is to take unit tested components and build a program structure that has been dictated by design. Integration testing is testing in which a group of components is combined to produce output. What is that? Integration testing is of 4 types, that is top down, bottom up, sandwich, big bang, right? These are the different 4 types of integration testing. The combination of different unit testing is nothing but integration testing. Black box testing, it is used for validation. In this we ignore internal working mechanism and focuses on what is output. White box testing, it is used for verification. In this we focus on internal mechanism, that is how the output is achieved. It's black box and white box, but the generally we can term as integration testing, right? Then regression. Every time a new module is added leads to change in the program. This type of testing makes sure that the whole component works properly even after adding components to the complete program. In a school record, suppose if we have module staff, students and finance, combining these modules and checking if one integration this module works fine is regression testing. Regression testing is nothing but when we add some new model in the previous one, and if the added module with the previous modules, if they are working accordingly, though we have combined the new and old, to find out their working is smooth or not, the type of testing is called as regression testing. Smoke testing, this test is done, make sure that software under testing is ready or stable for further testing. If project has 2 modules, so before going to module, make sure that module 1 works properly. That is called as smoke testing. If there are 2 modules and if we did the testing of smoke first one, and if we want to move to second module, before to start the second module, first we have to check whether first module is working clearly or not, and then we have to start a second module. This type of phenomena is nothing but smoke testing. Alpha testing, this is a type of validation testing. It is a type of acceptance testing which is done before the product is released to customer. It is typically done by the QA people, quality assurance people, when software testing is performed internally within the organization. Alpha testing is done, or alpha testing is known as testing which is done in organization before to hand over the product to end user. Then beta testing, the beta testing is conducted at one or more customer sites by the end user of the software. When software testing is performed for limited number of people, beta testing is nothing but software is hand over to limited number of people, and with the help of that limited number of people, the testing of that particular application is done, is called as beta testing. Most of the time we have heard this word beta testing. Beta testing means प्रोजेक्ट हा काही लिमिटेड नंबर एंड युजरला क्लायंट्सला दिला जातो आणि त्यांच्याबरोबर कोऑर्डिनेशन करून त्याचं टेस्टिंग केलं जातं. System testing, this software is tested such that it works fine for the different operating system. This includes functional as well as non-functional. System testing is nothing but functional testing or non-functional testing. Stress testing, what is stress testing? In this we give unfavorable conditions to the system and check how they perform in those conditions. Example, test cases that requires maximum memory or other resources are executed. Test cases that may cause thrashing in virtual operating system. Test cases that may cause excessive disk requirement. If such kind of condition is there, tester checks all these conditions, and this kind of checking regarding particular software is nothing but stress testing. Then performance testing. What is performance testing? Performance testing is designed to test the runtime performance of software within the context of an integrated system. What is that? That checking number of processor cycle. Object oriented testing. This testing is a combination of various testing techniques that helps to verify and validate object oriented software. This testing is done in the following manner: testing of requirements, design and analysis of testing, testing of code, integration testing, system testing, user testing. All the different types of testings are integrated in this object oriented testing. These are the different testings. Apart from this, there are numbers of testings available with respect to different testing tools, but you have to keep in mind some important types of testing: unit testing, integration testing, regression testing, smoke testing, alpha testing, beta testing, system testing, stress testing, performance testing, object oriented testing. These are the different types, keep in mind. After that we will start our actual installation of Selenium and actual demonstration of different testing in unit number 4, which is totally based on Selenium. You can leave the meeting. Thank you.